finally back in the present after all this time.
But it's not at all what we remember it as.
Now he's the dictator.
Oh boy, Dick.
He really loves himself.
So now we're actually going to finally learn what his deal is.
Which, you know, kind of amazing none of this is all, you know, changed considering, you know, he changed the fabric of history in and of itself.
But what I never knew was that Le Paradox's father had planned to steal it first, and frame my dad for the crime.
Unfortunately, he was a few steps short.
He was a little too slow.
And there's actually Sly's father just for a brief bit.
Yeah, Connor Cooper.
Oh! And got himself kidnapped, and yeah, so basically the Paradox is actually a parallel tale of what would happen if the Cooper family went bad. I love this though here.
Ironically, that he finally got his criminal education.
Is this you? Why, yes.
After his release, the Paradox maintained the appearance of a law-abiding citizen. In reality,
his
he
freaking
used his prison
sneaky,
contacts to
snarky
form his own
smirk.
syndicate.
Yeah, it's honestly amazing no one saw through that and, you know,
These days he
left him
traveled the
alone.
globe as a billionaire art collector, while his real business was the
Just
trafficking
that smirk
of
is
stolen
so
treasure.
stupid.
I just want to punch this man in the face.
He has a very punchable face.
Was to wipe us out.
It's
Oh,
one
no,
that
actually,
weird.
you know,
'Cause
no. What I would do, I would grab him by the mouth, and then I would use my other hand to punch him right squarely through the eyes.
It's so funny
it's
because
fair.
it's like he's the bad guy. You want to do that just by nature, but oh look, that's the guru.
Yeah, surprisingly, all of their hideouts more or less unaffected by this sudden change in history.
Thank goodness. But yeah, our old hideout. But,
Also,
yeah.
don't think too much about this level because this is pretty much a victory lap of a level.
Alright, we all know this is
Yeah,
our last
this whole
shot at
this whole
stopping
part
Paradox
pretty
and
much covers it
rescuing
all.
Carmelita. Currently, his blimp is docked outside the museum. I can't pinpoint Carmelita's exact position, but I believe she's being held somewhere near the loading bay.
Okay.
There appears to be a utility hatch on the blimp's underside that will get you inside.
That's
You can
easy.
use one of the mooring lines to reach it.
Okay.
Once you're in, try to gather as much
Baby.
information as you can.
That's me.
But remember, we'll be right
That's me.
behind you.
That's me.
So don't do anything.
You're probably wondering how I
rash.
got here.
Murray, I need you to get the van ready. We're gonna need backup for this one. So first,
Paradoxes
you and I
be
are
damned.
going on a little recruiting trip.
We're
Then
talking
we'll
about
rendezvous with
damning
Sly
the skunk,
inside
right?
blimp And figure out our next move.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Okay, I realize it's
Okay,
not the most
damn the
elaborate
skunk.
plan, but it's the best we've got. So everybody watch your backs, and let's go take that skunk down once and for all.
Why not?
Seems relatively simple
Why
and to the point.
And look, they already skipped it all. We don't have to go back and.
Boy, that was some final level, huh, kids?
I'm in.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I should be embarrassed if I missed out on that. Here, let's go for this obvious trap.
I know, pal, but I don't have a choice. Just
At least they're aware that it's likely a trap.
Also, that's very interesting of Le Paradox to give Carmelita a fresh change of clothes.
That was very appreciated.
Carmelita.
Idiot.
I mean, big
You
shot.
fucking fool!
Maybe what he should have done is,
Well,
like, whisked her away and just moved before, instead of just stopping right then and there.
Yeah, just like move her, then do the whole.
Well, how's this for a prediction? I'm gonna kick that stripe right off your tail.
Yes, yes, and now comes the big threats from the little man. As I said, predictable.
Oh,
Let us out! You afraid of a fair fight, coward?
No, 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 I don't think so. I have something special planned for you two. It is, how do you say, a going away party.
oh, I like parties.
You make,
But
you make
while
that sound
he-
hard to
while
say.
he's-
Okay.
While they're at the front of the ship.
Oh.
While you're here, we have to find your canes and get you back where you belong.
Let's just be
now.
thankful that immediate repercussions in time do not apply in this game.
Paradox is done.
Thank goodness.
Sly?
He's on his
I
own.
forget about him. He fell for that girl. I told him he should have left years ago.
Ryuichi, you're
So yeah,
up
basically
first.
it's a grand little, again, like he said, a victory lap. Go through to try all the old ancestors one more time.
Which, you know, I don't mind that at all. Like, I like playing these guys fine enough. I think this makes for a pretty decent final challenge. It's just that what comes afterwards that is pretty anticlimactic. Alright, first things first, we'll grab that cane.
Cheese.
Red Troopers at 12 o'clock.
Okay, well then just punch him.
And that's when I punch him, right?
Wow, wow, wow.
So yeah. In all seriousness, now we're getting to it. Yeah, turn on the fist of flame. We don't need to grab people. Just insta kill them.
We just gotta burn them alive.
So now, from this point forward, now that Ryoichi has his cane, now it's gonna be all about helping get everybody else their old canes back. Put this weird time loop back to rest. Oh my gosh, it's been a long ride coming here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's Bob's.
Now then, let's go and grab Bob's cane.
I don't know. Just thinking on it, like, I like this franchise, right? I enjoy what it does. I enjoy that it could be like, you know, the introduction to someone into, like, to a child into stealth mechanics and the world, and that at the very least with the original, like, they still weren't like, you know, talking down to the child, like, who was playing this. Like, they could have mature and pretty intense themes depending on which game you're playing, but, like, I don't know, I'm just bummed that I guess neither Sucker Punch nor Sony kind of see the same, like, potential impact that this game could have if they were to ever remake it or dare to continue it, like Ratchet and Clank is pulling off, actually.
Actually, it's funny because, like,
Ryoichi.
considering how remake crazy... oh, what happened?
Don't worry, Doug will be back.
He disappeared with Ryoichi.
Yes, he did.
Anyway, I was just saying, like, considering how remake crazy the industry is nowadays, I'm shocked that Sony never considered the possibility.
What?
Go, big man.
I would love it just one time. That was finally the moment where they're like, "What did you say? You couldn't hear me, understand me this whole time?" Yeah, no, never.
Never. Yeah, not a single word.
I was like, I mean, a couple words here and there. Context clues. No, not a single word I've ever understood from him.
What the heck, man?
I guess, can I just also remind me, really quick, is the DuckTales show fully done? Like,
Oh yeah, it finished like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's finished.
Man, remember when that was supposed to, like, spearhead a Disney's Afternoon universe, and they just kind of said, damn,
Yeah,
like,
just like...
they just forgot.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been nice because, like, as far as I know, they are still technically making a Darkwing Duck reboot. It's just not going to be set in the same universe, from what I recall.
Which I think is pointless then. Why even try to bog down DuckTales with all that? Like, DuckTales can stand on its own. Sorry, on my desk. DuckTales can stand on its own. It has stuck out on its own up to this point to even justify. I don't know. Goodbye.
This is going well.
Kind of a beauty that this game actually, you know, establishes that time, you know, even after all said and done, does try to correct itself.
Yeah, it's fair. Careful now. But yeah, I mean, but other than that, you're kind of seeing the loop that's gonna keep happening here.
Yeah, like this is
This
what to expect. Also, among that running stampede, Murray really does stick out.
Yeah, but he's getting his cardio in. That's important.
He really should have. You know, committed to that like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Anywho, sorry there, Salim. You're the best climber we got, and it's up to you to go get frickin' Gallus cane.
It is indeed my cross to bear.
My burden to bear. Sorry, I just...
If it means anything, ladies and gentlemen, we've literally been going at this for like 5 parts now. Alright, we apologize for any, you know, lost energy that's happened between then and now.
I mean, I'm personally
I don't know. So I mean, while we're at the hell with this, while we're at this victory lap, and we're already almost done with it. Like, I don't know, just James, what did you think? What do you think about the Sly Cooper franchise as a whole? And like, do you think that it's worth trying to continue forward? Should they just reboot it?
I think in this day and age, I think it may as well be rebooted because there's nothing to really earn from trying to, you know, continue off of this game's story, especially when Sony just doesn't give a crap about doing it themselves.
Now that we got Mr. Cranky Pants home safely, we need to...
I guess on that note then, Hype, who do you think could be trusted with doing a new Sly Cooper game, like, just from scratch?
Well, first off, one thing I'll say is that, like, I don't know if I'd want, like, just a straight-up reboot, because I do feel like, you know, the 3 original games do have their place, and I think do deserve to be seen. I would more so rather them just be, we mentioned it a handful of times, I would just rather them just be, like, remade, and also just, you know, made more accessible for people nowadays, because I do think they are worth looking into. And what I would honestly rather do is, first I would do the remakes of the first 3 games, and then honestly I would kind of do something akin to what Crash did, actually, where it's like, now that you have the remakes out, you just kind of have your own, like, branch of the timeline where you try to make a newer, better 4th installment.
I mean, because I think this premise still works. What do you think, Doug? Like, I think I already forgot to ask. What did you think of the whole, like, history, like, bringing in all the ancestors and stuff?
I still think it's a cool concept, but with everything else, it's just.
I mean, honestly, let's be real here.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm just heavily mixed on some of them, honestly.
Like, let's be real here. Like, the biggest downfall of this game is primarily with its writing. Everything else is still pretty sound.
I mean, I like.
Oh, excuse me. Let me rephrase. The writing and the art style primarily. Everything else is more or less fine.
Yeah, I can see that. And as for the Sly Cooper movie thing or show, wherever that may be, I also still think that's a premise that could be worth exploring. Kind of like, I'm still not sure what the hell happened to that Ratchet and Clank TV show. Or is that just another failed pilot that just is?
I think it's a failed pilot.
Yeah, it's another failed pilot.
Once more unto the breach go I. Fare thee well, you all.
So that just leaves Tennessee.
Also, back when it was Salim, I forgot to do bye-bye for now.
Ah. Always goes back to that poor asshole.
Yeah, honestly, like,
And now to put someone in a lamp so they can get to fart.
But yeah,
like, we're almost
my
there.
fucking head.
But yeah, honestly, just the more I think about it, and I guess I could, like, would you say it's too early to go into, like, final thoughts on Sly 4 as a whole?
I mean, okay, I'll say right now, the credits, especially because we're going to be talking over, like, Bentley and, you know, doing all this, like, you know, where are they now thing. Yeah, by all means. Doug, how about you start? What are your thoughts, like, just as a whole on Sly 4, if there's anything you haven't already said?
I think I said it in the earlier parts that this was my first Sly game that I've played, on the Vita nonetheless. I did enjoy for what I played back then, but I also remember back then it's like, it could have been better. It could have been better.
Yeah, no, it's
I do like some of the mechanics and what they've tried, but yeah, like what James has mentioned, the writing and the art style is just
Cool.
Also,
I just feel like it could have been a better game.
Also, not for nothing, dude. You kind of got the short end of the stick playing the Vita version because again, that version's functional but ultimately garbage.
Oh, like very
obviously. But I obviously also did get the PS3 version way later on.
Okay. At least you had that to it. Alright. I don't know. Hype, what about you? I don't know if you had played it, but having seen it now a number of times, what do you think?
I still haven't gotten the chance to play it yet at the time of recording. Like, honestly, all I've seen are just playthroughs, like, including yours here. The most that I'll say, I don't know how sound of a comparison that it is, but the more I think about it... Oh, that's one too many.
Whoops.
Okay, I'll
but it's
do it
like,
right this time, Danny.
just the more I think about this game, the more it just makes me think of... It's gonna sound like a weird comparison at first, but hear me out. It kind of reminds me of the Ratchet movie in a sense of, like, you can tell that, like, the people that made this were Sly fans, and they did want to try to pay, like, as much respect to the series as they could. They just didn't fully understand, like, the finer intricacies of what made Sly the franchise it is, and it's like, I don't want to say that there was no love or care put into it, because there is. It's just, they just didn't have as firm of a grasp on it as they like to think they did.
Yeah, they were primarily thinking of this game as if it were a massive love letter to the fans, without immediately thinking of maybe this would be like, what if this was their first Sly Cooper game? Like, you know, like in Doug's case, because especially when this game, especially was like, I don't know, 7-8 years after the third game. Like, it'd been a long stretch. Well, I mean, okay, granted, there was also the Sly Collection that came out like about a year or two beforehand, so I'll be fair there. But yeah, I don't know. This game's just a weird thing.
Oh, and as a quick plot of what's going on here, he's basically created the equivalent of like a time black hole.
Why would you do that? You realize that's gonna just mess up everything in existence.
He's just gonna open it. He just wants to quickly open the hatch and quickly throw it in. Like, just done. But I mean, that's what he wants anyway.
Have to see your irritating faces again.
You think this thing can hold me? Just wait until I get
That man's
out of
also got lazy eyes.
Why'd you do it,
A little, yeah, I'm
Why
seeing
the
it.
ancestors?
Oh,
Why not just
I also
come
like
after
this bit
me?
here.
What's the deal?
Just, yeah. Poor Le Paradox here is nothing more than a third-rate clockwork.
But I like this bit where he like explains what's going on with all this. Well, actually, I think that's actually later. They fully like one-ups him, but
I think so, yeah.
Would erase the Cooper name from history completely. And so today, my revenge will be complete. It is
that's
time
a
now
sad
for
way to
you
dedicate
go.
your life to all that.
Voyage.
Yeah, it really
Oh.
is. I mean, I can understand the Cooper family would make more, like, multiple enemies, but,
Cut that closer than a
seems a little,
$10 shave.
tried.
Breaking my tongue
Anyway,
here's a-
talk to you later, Tennessee.
All right, that's all the loose threads like that tied up, except for this stinker.
Quite literally.
So we're gonna have
Da-da-da-da.
ourselves a grand little fall, you idiot.
That wormhole says otherwise.
He knew exactly what he had coming.
If you didn't jump out of the way, this wouldn't have happened. So really, whose fault is it?
Carmelita and get
Who is the fool?
Your fault because you're the one that was trying to get him still.
Maniac just tore a hole in time-space.
Oh,
I need to
Great.
finish this fight here and now for the whole Cooper clan.
Sly, you don't have to do nothing. Just let the dude die.
Out of here.
This whole
I mean,
plan could
and leave the hole
disappear
open?
any second.
Right, so there's no time to argue.
Well, no, apparently the whole blimp will just get sucked up and that'll be it.
I know.
Would that just be it, though?
Also, that moment of yes, I know. That makes up for time. So it's time for one final match.
And how would you know?
Yeah.
And it stakes as much as he does.
Yeah, I mean, literally all you do is you chase him. Just keep following along. Oh, as soon as you get to here, QTE battle, everybody. So, James, what do you think about Sly 4?
Again, I still think, as a game, it's perfectly functional. It's primarily the writing and some bits of the art style that just don't click with me all that much. I would still go on the record to say that it is a better game than Sly 3, but that's still by a pretty small margin.
Well, I guess
that's
like
fair.
I don't know. Oh, but I was about to say I don't know if we ever talked about it at any point. If we did, I'm sorry. But what would you say it is about like Sly 4 or even just Sly 3 where you do feel like 4 is just a slightly better game?
Well, 4 cuts back on the bullshit padding for the most part, and secondly, I do think the gimmick of this game letting you play as Sly's ancestors is a little more fulfilling than basically all the. It's weird to explain, like how in Sly 3, all of your added teammates, aside from the usual 3, do in and of themselves feel like pretty underutilized gimmicks. Yeah.
I know they made the most use out of like the Guru, but that's because he's like one of the first people you recruit, and then Panda King is just a different Murray, except for his cannons, but it's still.
And then there's Penelope, who's literally just all the RC stuff
RC
that Bentley did in Sly 2.
Yeah, that's fair. They really didn't do it. They didn't do as much with her at all.
It felt like the story beat. Like, the story beats are much better in Sly 3, but it definitely feels like for the sake of gameplay, it doesn't quite justify it. Though I will also say the set piece here is pretty weird.
I know it's difficult, Cooper, but try to keep up.
He does it.
Coming apart at the seams.
Don't fall.
Almost
Then I won't get the chance
done.
to kill you myself.
Just gotta get to the front of this blimp, and then we'll have.
Don't
one
mind it.
last
Don't mind his
final lap.
gravity is crying just as much as the blimp is.
And then, at the very least,
Before we finish this,
I do like that Sly just outright points out every flaw in what this whole
kidnapped
weird,
the
stupid
Coopers
plan
because
is.
of what happened to your father?
No, you imbecile. I came after the Coopers to prove that Le Paradox is the greatest thief who has ever lived.
Again, just like Clockwork before you.
Ask yourself this. If the Coopers were truly the greatest thieves in history...
Though I guess in Le Paradox's
destroyed
defense,
their most valuable
he is,
possession, then
a little more.
they-
What's the word? he's not exactly a hulking Goliath that would be about as subtle as a firework.
And he just pretty much pointed out, you had a time machine, and you could have done so much with it. Why did you even think of dragging in the one person capable of stopping you?
Right.
Seems like your friends did all the real work.
Enjoy your words, Cooper, because they will be your last.
Alright, and with that, it's time for one last bout of QTs. And I guess, in short, I'll just say that again. I don't regret having tried this game. I enjoyed, for the most part, what was there. There was a little bit of some, like, there was some floaty bits here and there. It plays with my muscle memory of 2 and 3 a little bit at times, but, like, visually, the level designs and stuff are really cool and how dense they are, but
you barely get to play in them.
Yeah, no, I know. They're very short, and there's much fewer chapters than there were in 2. I still think 2 is the best game in the franchise.
I feel like that one moment where he, like, jumped and landed Kane first on him, that should have been a Devil Damn Impalement.
You're not wrong. And with that,
that's the end of our story.
My plan was perfect.
I literally just explained how it was horrible in every way.
Please, help me.
Why should I?
I do not wish to die.
Quit being a baby about it.
I think that's the highest I've ever heard Nolan's voice reach.
Yeah? And then he pulls this shit.
Mine.
And steals our paraglider.
So predictable.
You won't get away with this. I'll find you.
Au contraire, Sly Cooper. I do not think we will meet again.
No!
Surely this will go down perfectly for the Paradox.
Oh.
Or not.
And, just like in Sly Cooper 1, he dies. Or at least falls a very long way.
Unfortunately...
I'm just saying, the game showed that he survived that fall. He should have...
since that night, but there's still no sign of Sly.
Then, yeah, that'll happen.
The skunk could barely tread water.
Oop.
So by the
Miraculously,
time
everything in Paris is okay
he was
now.
happy to see them.
Yep.
Word is he earned a special cell in solitary confinement, where the only thing he'll be collecting from now on is gray hair.
Next to all his buddies.
Paris and the Thieves
And we fixed
were
it.
back to normal, but that hardly made us feel any better. At first, we just waited, assuming Sly would show up the way he always did.
It was just
But
his
as the
thing to
days
do.
stretched into weeks, we had to face the fact that he was truly lost.
Damn.
We
Man.
stopped talking about it all the time, but I know it's all we're thinking about.
I
Even
cannot
if we show it in
groove the
different
shake
ways.
without the Sly.
Murray seems like his usual cheerful self, but I can tell there's a new
Now you
level of
die.
seriousness underneath it all. He's on the professional wrestling circuit.
Yeah, why did he ever start here? This is where he really belongs up, driving.
I mean, he was always a professional driver beforehand, so
Right.
that doesn't surprise me.
Plus, he loves his van.
True.
Carmelita returned to Interpol, where she threw herself into her work, busting criminals at
Ow.
a record pace. She's been so busy, I haven't seen her for a while now. My sources tell me she's conducting her own investigation into Sly's whereabouts.
Huh.
Out of everyone, I think she took his disappearance the hardest, even if she never shows it.
Aww.
At least not in public.
Mm.
As for myself, I continue to search. Even using all my technology, I haven't found a clue.
You created a
Time
Sly
machine is
Cooper
no help
DNA
since we
searching
didn't know where
tool.
Sly was.
How do you know that wasn't
point.
one
Why
of the
not
first
use
things he used?
I get discouraged sometimes.
Yeah,
but
unfortunately
I'll
from how he
never give up.
described it, and
Because I
I'll explain
know
of how I
Sly's
thought
out
they
there,
planned for
and
this to
I
be
know
fixed.
that wherever
He would
is,
need to know where
we
he would need to know
will
when
find him.
Sly is in order to even program the time machine.
Right.
And that's that.
Yep.
That's how the game would end.
Meanwhile, let's see how everyone else is doing.
Continue to refine his
So I guess
master
I'll-
ninja
oh,
techniques,
let's see.
as well as his sushi.
Hooray!
And while his thefts were never detected, his sushi restaurant was
Still a little
recognized
contrived
as
that
the
he's the inventor of
finest in
sushi,
Japan.
but why not? Glad
Yeah,
to see
agreed.
that worked out. Glad to see that worked out for him. Oh, God, my back.
My back!
I got back.
Am I really?
back.
Hell,
Am I really that old?
Bars. to a
Feels
South
like I've
American
aged
prison,
30
where he
years.
now works rolling
By literally
cigars.
commentating over 5+
Unfortunately for
videos.
him, there's no smoking allowed.
Haha.
Whoops.
Sorry, El Jefe. Not today. Or ever.
Not today, Buster.
Gone. Alright, what else we got? Who's next on our list? Because, yeah, basically it's going to be a... Oh!
Tennessee Kid
Yeah, it's
Cooper
going to be a
recovered
pattern.
his
The
gold
Cooper,
his
and then
place
the
in
villain that we were
history as
fighting
the
with.
greatest outlaw of the Old West.
Good.
His legend grew even bigger when he began stealing from crooked
Oh.
Thus that trend began.
Like,
Thank you.
do you think it'd be reasonable to say that Tennessee was the one that started the whole, like, only steal from bad guys thing?
Possibly.
I could see it. Uh-oh.
Toothpick was arrested and became part of a chain gang working on the railroad.
Toothpick.
He
No!
eventually went
He has his AirPods in! I can't tell him what to do!
Oh, that's right. He went
His
deaf.
AirPods in.
He's deaf, so we couldn't
he
even
went
hear
deaf.
them. And then we had never heard him say... Children's game still. Dude died.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh.
Bob.
And then there was
Cooper
Bob.
kept
Well, that
up
wasn't
his
me.
physical training and returned
I know,
to his
but
role
boy,
as
how
a
did it
thief
remind me of you.
extraordinaire. Perhaps most importantly,
That's a
he
weird
pioneered the use
pterodactyl
of his
face.
cane as a tool for thieving.
That artist, I don't know, knew how to draw angled perspectives just quite right yet.
Not
Or maybe
quite.
he just didn't know how to do it with the angled, with like the very, style. Oh no.
Oh,
Grizz received a lengthy prison sentence and began a new career as a rap artist. In his spare time, he paints portraits of his
I
fellow inmates.
Thought he wanted to be an ice skater for whatever reason.
Yeah.
well,
Gave
maybe
up on
he
that.
maybe he traded professions.
I mean, considering how much rhyming he was doing while we saw him, I guess it would make some sense that he would go into that. Anyway.
Also, I just noticed, like, in the credits, like, you have David Scully as Dimitri still credited, even though at no point in the game does he ever talk.
Successful, if overly dramatic, actor.
I actually don't know. Yeah, if he does it all. Dimitri talk.
No, like, the only time he ever really talked for Sly 4 was that teaser.
Yep,
I'm
and
trying
that's
to look
it.
it up to see if he has. Hang on.
And then there's
was sent to
Penelope.
Europe's highest security prison, where she promptly escaped. She remains at large, and the police have no clue as to her whereabouts.
Oh.
Recently, however, I've been receiving mysterious postcards.
Oh,
Perhaps
yeah.
a stupid arch nemesis in the sequel.
Yeah, she's after Bentley now. But, not that it matters.
Yeah, that's.
It's just, yeah, that's one thing I wouldn't mind just being wiped out of canon, because that was still so
Kupar finally
stupid.
retired from thieving
Agreed.
and took a long nap.
Oh.
Then he dreamed up a lucrative new business.
Oh.
Parking his camel around town, he sold snacks to hungry customers.
Food trucks.
It was highly successful.
In those times, yeah, I could totally see him making bank off that.
Yeah.
Also gives him time to relax and spend his retirement in peace.
Good for him. Ah.
Oh,
After being locked up, Miss Decibel decided to make some changes.
Oh.
She had the horn removed from her trunk,
Thank goodness.
enrolled in anger management classes, and began teaching music to other prisoners.
Huh.
With continued good behavior, she might get an early parole.
well, good
Yeah,
for
You
her.
gotta learn how to play. You gotta learn to play that thing though. But she at least felt like a tragic kind of villain. But even though he absolutely did things for the wrong reasons. All right. How about Leperid? Oh, Dimitri.
Oh, Dimitri.
Dimitri returned to
Can't
his
forget about him.
running ways as a celebrity scuba diver.
Yeah, fair enough.
And even launched a new line of fashion wear.
Oh my God.
He's so successful, there's a new reality TV show chronicling his adventures. It's called Disco Diver.
Okay.
I mean, like, it's not
Just get
like
outta here.
it's not that dissimilar to how he was at the end of. It was either 2 or 3 where he was like swarmed with ladies like that.
Yeah, no, they go for the frogman.
There he is.
Paradox had all his assets seized,
Hey.
including his art collection, and everything was donated to the city of Paris.
Good for them.
I'm told his cell was modified to be completely odor-proof.
But still, you can never be too
For
careful.
the guards, since he's going to be living there for a very long time.
Thank goodness.
Nothing
And
quite
with
like
that-
living with your own stench for all of eternity.
And unfortunately, that's it. That's it. And so I will say, if you manage to somehow 100% complete the game, get every single mask, every single treasure, every little thing in the game, then as you reach the credits, this will happen.
Oh, jeez, that's a little blinding.
Well, it's the sun.
the scorching hot sun, because he's alive. And crash landed some time
in Egypt.
Yeah, see you 3,000 years, Cooper. Nice.
So yeah, and backing up, I think I see how they could have done it. How they could have fixed this. How the story could have rewritten itself, even with just a single DLC, where since Bentley needed to know when Sly was in order to even travel back in time to find him, I could actually see that, because there's two reasons why he's there. He is there in the time of Slight and Common. I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
Yep.
And he was actually the first person who actually created the Cooper clan. The first person who ever created the Thievius Raccoonus. I guess it was supposed to be a parallel to the old Hashashin or Hashladi, or whatever that word is. It's basically back in Egypt was where the first term of an assassin first came to be.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so I could see that where maybe in that small DLC the campaign would revolve around not trying to steal something. Maybe you would find Slight in Common and, get some help from him, but the whole premise would be around either convincing him to write the Thievius Raccoonus or doing something really big and putting just a big ass Sly Cooper was here, so that basically makes such a wide historical shaking presence that Bentley in the present would notice that something had been altered, and that would have been how you would have clued him into going back to that time in particular just to save you, and bam, story's complete and resolved.
Literally have Sly draw the biggest hieroglyph known to mankind.
Or at the very least do something to meet up with Slight in Common to get him to write something to Thievius Raccoonus saying, hey, Bentley, please quickly come over here.
I think would have been up. There's that. I also remember that, I don't know if he said it during a stream or during a Twitter, or, Kevin Miller actually gave off his own idea of how they could have continued off it, and apparently involved the idea of Sly mummifying himself.
Oh. I hope he did. I hope that was just for the sake of a joke, because Jesus Christ.
If the preservation techniques are that good, but yeah, no, just yeah, no, it's a bummer.
Oh, no.
They had what did you think of?
I just had a dumb thought. Continuing off of Kevin Miller's idea of Sly just going with the idea of, screw it, I'll mummify myself and then hope to God that Bentley will find me in the future. And then hopefully after that, he decides, maybe we could contact another known enemy of ours to bring me back to life.
Oh my God.
Actually, now that I think about it,
that would be the return of Miss Ruby.
Actually, for some reason, what I was thinking of, now that I think about it, the way I think about it, I know it would be morbid, but hear me out. If he does go on with the mummifying himself, in the present, Bentley would be like, this mummy looks very familiar. Oh my God! And then just use the raps to travel back there.
just sees them in an oh my God, and then meanwhile in the present, the joke is that now Sly's in a museum, and the gang have to steal him from the museum. So that becomes another heist.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. There's. What do you think, Doug? Any particular thoughts on that?
No.
Okay.
Well said.
Then that's that. Apart from Move Heroes, which we're never covering, sorry, I just don't have the desire to cover that game.
Plus, I don't think you can even emulate a game like that.
I'm sure it's possible.
I do have a. Don't forget, I have a PlayStation 3. I just don't have the PlayStation Move controllers.
It's also just a matter of fact of, let's be real, you're not missing a damn thing with that game.
Yeah, no, again, it's a bummer. So, yeah, beyond that, and Bentley's Hack Pack is just a small collection, arcade style, of all of his hacking stuff from this game. That's it. That's, unfortunately, this is where our journey with the Sly Cooper franchise does come to an end, which, again, it's a bummer, but who knows?
Then it's gonna be 10 years this year.
I know.
That is true.
So who knows? Maybe this year, the 20th anniversary of Sly Cooper, by the way. Look at how we managed to make that happen. Who knows? Maybe this video would become dated in a really nice way. Maybe we'll hear about some grand news. But as far as our commentary over this game is concerned, we're not covering anything else Sly Cooper related, unless maybe something pops up. So
yeah, who knows? Maybe someday we'll consider giving this. We'll go back to the Sly series and give it the playthrough treatment. But in the meantime, that's not going to be for another couple of years.
Yeah, maybe we're not feeling like it. But until that point, thank you all so much for joining us. I was Lucky Jack 20.
I've been James Mainstream.
I'm Unknown Doug Spirit.
And I'm still single.
I'm still on the market.
And I need some love too.
I was Unknown Doug Spirit, and now I want to get Jafard, please.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Till next time.
Later.